Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. It is June 9th, about 10 p.m. Central Time, my time. If you're tuning in and you have not subscribed, I implore you, hit that red subscribe button. It will be an investment on your part. I'm at like 325 right now. My goal is to get to 1,000 by week 1 this season. My channel's still new, young, and growing. When I get to 1,000, I'll be able to put back in the channel, get a mic, studio equipment, sound bites, a desktop just for this so I can have film and graphics and all that. All the bells and whistles to go with what I got up here. 30 years with this team, played my entire youth. This channel will be something very, very, very special. But I can't get there without y'all, DC Nation. I've got 3 topics I'm going to hit on tonight. The end of mini camp, what we took out of that. Cooks is been released by Minnesota, as we all know. And I like to touch on what Micah is aspiring to be this season with his defense. But, guys, for real, I am the real deal. This channel will grow and become awesome. And I'll have a call-in line also, just like Law does. So you can call in, vent, be heard and whatnot. On the count of 3, guys, we are all family. Show some love on the count of 3. Please hit the subscribe button. 1, 2, 3. Subscribe, guys, if y'all the real deal. And like Mike Fisher says, the like button helps beat the algorithms, basically get your video viewed more. On the count of 3, guys, if we can hit that like button. 1, 2, 3. Boom. If you did it, you are a real one too. I promise you that I will bring you nothing but straight good content. Put in the work, nothing half-assed. First-class content all day, every day. Now, I'm going to jump into it here. Minicamp just concluded. It's pretty good for the most part. Pretty good. Not very many bad things to take away from it. Only 3 bad things to take away from it is Callaway, wide receiver that wasn't going to make the team anyway, gets cut. I don't see how you can be an NFL player and still have a suspended license. Just pay the money and get it fixed. Goes to jail for that. Now, Sean Wright wasn't really able to participate due to an injury. I doubt he makes a 53-man roster. And kicker Tristan Vizcaino, 29 of 35 on practice kicks. That's not very good. That's less than 83%. Enough of playing around with this kicker game. Bring back Brett Maher. He was money Maher last year. Had 1 bad game. Other than that, he was money all season. And he's got the leg to nail the long ones. And I think we're going to need a few key long ones this season. So, out of OTAs, what do we take from it? I tell you what, Cooks and Gilmore, just from what we saw in minicamp, looked like they were real Super Bowl moves. Gilmore, watching him play and watching him go get the offense, looks like he hasn't lost a step sometimes. Sometimes he looks like the 2018 Gilmore still. Even at 33 years old, he knows the game so well that even though his physical attributes aren't what they were 5 years ago, he can make up with it with as well as he knows the game. I think he could be the better corner of the 2 right now. Diggs has only played 3 seasons. Gilmore is a seasoned veteran. Has been Defensive Player of the Year. And has held that Lombardi trophy. And Brandon Cooks, the play speed of Brandon Cooks had everybody turning their heads. It's not just that he can run a fly pattern, you know. His speed of coming off the ball, breaking off his routes, making his cuts. He is no spring chicken. but he has still got that speed, and he is still a guy that takes the top off he took the top off the defense several times in this mini camp. One of them being that 60-yard drop in the bucket that I'm sure everybody heard about. But he did a lot more than that. A lot of people were just enamored by his quickness and everything he does. It's a receiver with skills that we have not had in 20 years, since Joey Galloway. After he tore his ACL, the first season we got him in 2000, 2003 was the last year that we had him. I would say after Galloway tore his ACL that he lost half a step. Cooks, not being, in his rookie contract anymore, around 30, has lost half his step. The 03 Galloway and the 2023 Cooks, probably, similar speed, almost, maybe the same speed. And Galloway was still very good in 2003. So it's been 20 years since we've had a impact fast receiver. We had no speed last season. All we had was Tony Pollard. And we finally unleashed that speed. And that gave our offense a home run hitter and something for the defense to fear. A lot of people were saying that Hopkins would have been the better choice. Hopkins all around is probably the better receiver, yes, all around. Catch radius, his route running, just him as a receiver overall, you could probably say is better than Brandon Cooks. But we have that in CeeDee Lamb, who has an amazing catch radius and is very physical. And we have that in Michael Gallup also, who's got a big catch radius and can be very physical. Two big guys. We didn't need another Tarzan. We needed a Jane. Like on draft day. Brandon Cooks is a Jane. He's not a Tarzan. And he gives the receiving corps what it needed, and that is a threat to score on any given play if you take your eyes off him or if you don't know where he's lined up or misread the play. Cooks and Gilmore shined in minicamp. That was really, really good to see. Jabril Cox, who had a down sophomore season after a promising rookie year, gets hurt, comes back last year, doesn't look very well. Looks like he's on the chopping block. Had a very good minicamp. If Jabril Cox can get back to where he was, in his rookie season, if the man can ball out this year at linebacker number 3, then our linebacker depth is not as thin as it looks. If Cox in year 3 picks it up and plays to his potential, then our linebacking core has pretty good depth, especially if Overshawn, as a rookie, can play halfway decent. Having the Wolf Hunter, Damone Clark, Jabril Cox, who is very fast, and Overshawn, who is very fast also. That was nice to see. And Matt Waletzko, one of the 4 fifth-round picks we had last season. All of the fifth-round picks hit. Deron Bland, starting slot corner, 5 interceptions last season. Jordan Lewis went down. Bland came in seamlessly and played better than Jordan Lewis. Damone Clark comes back from injury sooner than expected. Automatically becomes linebacker number 2. Linebacker number 2. Played better than Anthony Barr did last season. The Vanilla Gorilla. Can't remember the man's real name because that nickname just sticks in my head so well. We put him on the practice squad just for a week. We were going to bring him right back on. Washington wasn't stupid, snatched him right up. He played a lot of defensive snaps for them in the interior last season and played very well as a rookie. You can consider that a fifth-round hit. And tackle Matt Waletzko got hurt in the offseason, therefore did not get to play last season. So he is healthy and has a full offseason ahead of him and looked very good in the OTAs. Started at right tackle for the first team offense. Played a little left guard. Now, the starting 5 offensive line right now is 77, Tyron Smith. They're putting the kid, Tyler, at left guard, Biadash at center, Martin and Steele. But right now, Waletzko is playing at Steele's spot. He is a true right tackle. It's what he played in college. 6'8". I think Waletzko could be a very good offensive lineman. Thought that last year, but he got hurt. Just like Devin Harper at linebacker, and our 6th-round pick got hurt. If Matt Waletzko shines in training camp, shines in preseason at right tackle, and Terrence Steele is not ready week 1 or week 2 or week 3, Matt Waletzko could possibly be that good right tackle to fill in, will basically be the swing tackle, to fill in for Terrence Steele for the first couple games if Steele is not ready or is not 100%, and they think Waletzko would be the better guy to play, being that he's 100%. And who knows, Waletzko could be a gem, just like Deron Bland and Damone Clark and the Vanilla Gorilla. And he had reps at left guard. I would like him since he's playing right tackle right now with the second teamers. I'd like him to play left tackle. See how he fares at left tackle also. Because if that's the start lineup, Ty Smith, Tyler, Biadash, Martin, and Steele, and Ty Smith goes down for a couple games, I want to know that Waletzko can fill that left tackle spot really well. So we don't have to shift Tyler from left guard to left tackle. Hate musical chairs. And if Waletzko can be that swing tackle, it could be very effective. And if Ty Smith misses 5 of the 17 regular season games and Waletzko can step in at left tackle and play well and hold his own, that would be fantastic. I think he's got the intangibles to do it. The 2 best outcomes for this offensive line is that this man, Matt Waletzko, becomes a great swing tackle for us and can play at a high level on the right or left side. Or Matt Farniak, Chuma Adoga, Asim Richards, TJ Bass, who shined in minicamp. One of those guys surprisingly just blow up at left guard in training camp in the preseason and becomes our starting left guard for the foreseeable future. Chuma is young. Asim is a rookie. Farniak was drafted two years ago. He's young. They're all young. And TJ Bass, a UDFA. We've got good luck on UDFAs. Him and tight end John Stevens, who also played receiver in college, are the 2 UDFAs that stood out in minicamp. Tyler Bass was getting reps at right guard with the first team because Zach Martin has a soft tissue injury. Nothing to worry about, but I'd like to see him get reps at left guard also. I'd like a competition at left guard, not just say Tyler Smith is our left guard. So I think the 2 best starting 5s would be the one I just said with Matt Waletzko as swing tackle but being a good swing tackle, or we find that true left guard and keep Tyler at left tackle and have Tyron as the swing and him play right tackle if Steele ain't ready. And if Steele is ready, then let Tyron just be the swing tackle. Can't get no better than that as swing. I mean, his salary went from $17 million base salary to $3 million. So it's not like he'd be paying him $17 million to sit on the bench. Anything else on minicamp that I'm missing here? Besides, Cooks was cooking and Gilmore still looking like a lockdown corner. Jabril Cox looking good. Well, let's go. Raising some eyebrows. Oh, and on the second team offense, the wide receivers, Jalen Tolbert, still getting all this hype. I ain't going to believe it till I see it. But on the second team offense, the receivers were Jalen Tolbert, Simi Fehoko, Kevontae Turpin. If we can get Kevontae Turpin involved in this new Texas Coast offense, some screen plays, some end arounds, some fly routes, that would be amazing, because then our offense would also now just have speed all of a sudden with Pollard, Cooks, and then Turpin as your fastest man. He's got Chris Johnson speed. If we can get Turpin involved in this offense where he can touch the ball in space at least twice a game, that would be awesome. But minicamp looked really well, especially Cooksey and Gilmore, the guys that we are banking on helping us get over that hump. Mozzie Smith is really, no pads. Trench guy, really not much to tell. Second topic, we all know that Minnesota has released Dalvin Cook. Now everybody clamoring to go get this man, Dalvin Cook, to complement Tony Pollard and Deuce Vaughn in the backfield. Drafted in 2017, right? Second round pick. He was a 41st overall pick. He's played, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. He's played 6 seasons. 6 seasons. He's got 5,993 yards. So it's about 1,000 yards a year. Averages about per carry 4.7 yards, which is pretty damn good. It's close to 5 yards a carry. 47 touchdowns on the ground. He's got 221 catches, 1,794 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns through the air. At the combine, he ran a 4.4940. So he's got speed. He's 5'10", 210 pounds. So, he's not too light in the britches. He's more of your speed back. He's like a Tony Pollard type back. What we need is a power back. Cook is 5'10", 210. And he's not going to be cheap either. It's going to be a bidding war to get this man. Elliott is 6 foot 230. Elliott has only one more season than Cook, right? 7 seasons opposed to 6. In his 7 seasons, he has 8,262 rushing yards, averages 4.4 yards a carry, opposed to 4.7. 68 touchdowns on the ground, opposed to 47. 305 catches, 2,300 receiving yards, 12 receiving touchdowns. For the money and the value, I think bringing back Elliott would be better than bringing Cooks on. Because I know we still have Hunter Lupicki as the UDFA, fullback / halfback at North Dakota State. But we need that power back, and Elliott still has a lot to offer. Why people think he's washed, I do not get. Emmitt Smith would not just talk out of his ass. He knows. If anybody knows, he would know. He's the NFL's all-time leading rusher. He knows Zeke has a lot left in the tank. Elliott is not our running back number 1 anymore. If he were to come back for another year, he's not the start running back anymore. He's not the, guy that's going to rush for 1,400 yards, 1,600 yards. No, but he's our power back, and he has certain things that he does for this team that is super important. He still gives you that pop when he gets a defender. He will still fall forward whenever he's running that football. Just because against San Fran, after Pollard went down, that was our X Factor weapon. San Fran loaded the box because all we had was CeeDee Lamb, T.Y. Hilton, and Gallup on one leg. So you load the box with that front seven they got, and you expect Elliott to make something happen. He ran into a brick wall the rest of the game. The game had to be won by Dak in his arm. And all he had really was Lamb and Schultz and an old receiver and Gallup, who still was not back yet. Zeke keeps Dak upright. And with Deuce Vaughn on this team now, he had 230 carries that season. Deuce Vaughn can take 100 of those away. Take 100 of those away and keep Elliott fresh all year so he doesn't get worn down in December and January. Like I said, the first 15 games, he missed 2, played 13, averaged 4.2 yards a carry at 10 touchdowns. It's pretty good from your power back. And he kept Dak upright because he is the best pass-protecting running back in the league. Bring back Elliott. I don't care if you got to pay him $5-6 million for this season. He is going to be a key cog to getting us to where we need to go. He is what we need, not Dalvin Cook. Just like Cooks brings the dimension on offense that we needed that Hopkins does not. Same with Elliott. Brings the dimension on offense that we need that Cooks does not. We already have a Cooks. His name is Tony Pollard. And Pollard is, I would venture to say, better. Because he finally got his first shot last season. And he got the lesser carries than Elliott and shined like no other. He was the most explosive player last year behind Tyreek Hill. That's how good Tony Pollard was. I think he can get 1,000 in receiving and rushing. Who's done that? Marshall Faulk and did McCaffrey do that? Or one other running back did, but I say go after Zeke. That's what I would do. Third topic and last topic. I love what Micah Parsons said last week. That, referring back to what he called the Ray Lewis defense. He said they came back together and they figured out to get to the Super Bowl, if the other team can't score, they can't win. That Ravens defense in 1998 going to 1999 brought back everybody, and from 1999 to 2000 brought back 9 of the 11 starters. Pretty much like 2021 to 2022 to now, we're bringing back everybody just about. Last season we only lost Carlos Watkins and Anthony Brown. Season before that we didn't bring back from 21 to 22. Shoot, I think we kept everybody. But it was the third season of the Ravens defense. The same guys. And they were all playing at a high level. And Micah Parsons says this season he thinks his defense can be as good as the 2000 Ravens defense. That was some big words right there, because I watched them 2000 Ravens. I watched that season. I saw us go to Baltimore. I saw Trent Dilfer throw 2 interceptions to our defense. and we still lost 27-0. That Ravens defense pitched 4 shutouts that year. And the rules were a little bit different. You know what I mean? I mean, you could knock receivers around. You could drive the quarterback into the ground. I mean, they were knocking quarterbacks out of the game left and right. As you all know, that defense allowed 165 points that season. That was 10.3 points a game. That defense allowed 970 yards rushing. In a 16-game season, they allowed 970 yards rushing, under 1,000. They didn't allow a 100-yard rusher all year. That 2000 Ravens defense. That's nuts, so right. They led the league in takeaways, of course. 49, 23 interceptions, 26 forced fumble and fumble recoveries. That's physical right there. 26 ball knockouts and recoveries. They had 35 sacks that year. Last season, we had 54 sacks. And we've led the league in takeaways the last 2 seasons. Has not been done since the 70 Steelers. Steel curtain. We had 33 last year, 34 the year before. Last season, we had 16 picks, and we had 17 forced fumble recoveries. So, on that 2000 Ravens defense, their starters, 4-3 was their scheme. They had 2 Hall of Famers on that defense. 3 Hall of Famers on that defense. Middle linebacker Ray Lewis, right outside linebacker Peter Boulware, free safety Rod Woodson. On our defense, you could say future Hall of Famer Stephon Gilmore, probably get in. Micah Parsons, it's way too early to say, but on the rate he's going, you could probably say he's got a good chance of being a future Hall of Famer. And the next guy that you could maybe say is Trayvon Diggs if he keeps on getting better. He might have a shot. Mozzie Smith, we have no idea. He could be the next Ndamukong Suh, or he could be the next, huge bust. I think it'll be the former, not the latter. But the starting lineup for the 2000 Ravens defense, I mean, just unreal. Defensive ends, Rob Burnett and Mike McCrary. Defensive tackles, this is where their defense was built. Defensive tackles, Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa. Those are 2 nose tackles that could have played nose tackle in a 3-4 scheme. Run stop and just gobstoppers playing back-to-back. I mean, those guys could engulf 2 linemen at the same time, both of them. And then having those 2 defensive ends, no lineman ever got to the second level. So Ray Lewis, Jamie Sharper, and Peter Boulware were free to run sideline to sideline. They had nobody to really get in their way. That's why they got to the running back and met him in the hole every time. That's why they allowed 970 rushing yards all season. Because of those 2 defensive tackles of Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa. 2 one-tech nose tackles. There are 2 corners, Chris McAllister and Dwayne Starks. They weren't legendary good. But that season, they were pretty locked down. They were 2 locked down corners. Free safety Rod Woodson. What can you say? I mean, man was a legend. I mean, he patrolled that backfield like none other. And strong safety Kim Herring was pretty good and could lay the wood on people, as Ray Lewis, Sharper, and Boulware could also. But what made that defense was the defensive line. That's what made him so effective. Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa, I mean, man. And their slot corner, when they had 3 corners, Corey Harris. Now, our starting defensive lineup, they had a 4-3 scheme. We run more of a big nickel. Our defensive ends, Tank Lawrence, Micah Parsons, right now. Our defensive tackles, Mozzie Smith or Jonathan Hankins. I think Mozzie will be the starter come week 1. Mozzie Smith and O.C. Adigizua. Linebackers, Leighton Vander Esch, Damone Clark. Corners, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore. Our 3 safeties, free safety Malik Hooker, strong safety Donovan Wilson, and our fly around safety hybrid J-Ron Kurtz. And y'all know our slot corner is Bland. Now, the 2000 Ravens offense averaged 20.3 points a game. So if that offense scored 17 points, they were going to win. If they scored 14, most likely they were going to win. They only had, I think, 2 games where they allowed, a good amount of points against Tennessee and one other game. 4 shutouts. So if our offense with this new Texas coast can average 28 to 30 points a game, that would be a big plus. If we can run the ball very effectively this season and control the tempo of the game, we're running the football, control time of possession, and say our average time of possession per game is 35 to 25 in our favor. That'll keep our defense fresh. Now, we have a 17-game season. I don't see us allowing 10 points a game. Last season, San Fran was number 1 in points allowed per game at like 17.3. We were 6 at like 19.6 points per game that we allowed. So nowadays the standard is if you allow 17 a game, you are top notch. If this defense can allow 14 to 16 points a game, that'll be amazing. That'll almost be equivalent to maybe the 2000 Ravens defense on points allowed, being with the rule change and being that the league is so offensive minded now. Because in the year 2000, when the receivers were running routes, you could knock them off the routes, you could beat them up, you could run the quarterback into the ground, you could hit them helmet to helmet. In the postseason, this is where it counts. In the postseason, that 2000 Ravens defense, wild card, they were 12-4, just like we were in 2014, and was a wild card team because Titans were 13-3. So they go to Denver and they hold them to a field goal, beat them 21-3. Then they go to Tennessee. Tennessee opens the game with the opening touchdown drive. I was watching that game. I was like, man, Tennessee just marched 80 yards on that defense. Damn, Steve McNair, Eddie George, them boys came to play. That was about all they were going to do. Ravens beat them 24-10. As you know, it was 17-10. Tennessee was trying to tie it up late in the game, late in the fourth quarter. McNair throws it to Eddie George. Ray Lewis meets Eddie George where the ball's at. Takes it from him. Takes it to the house. They go to Tennessee, beat them 24-10. So they've allowed 3 points and 10 points. Then they go to Oakland for the AFC Championship game. Biggest game of the season. I mean, the stadium was rocking. They beat them 16-3. 1 offensive touchdown, pass to Shannon Sharp. So they allowed 3 points, 10 points, and 3 points. And in the Super Bowl, the Giants, who just beat Minnesota like 40-7, something like that. They scored over 40. Blew out the Vikings, Randy Moss and company. Kerry Collins and then put up over 40 points at Minnesota. Actually, I believe they were home. They go to the Super Bowl, play the Ravens. They lose 34-7, and that 7 points was a kickoff return. So the Ravens defense pitched a shutout in the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's ever been done. So they allowed a total of 16 points in the playoffs, all 4 games. The Ravens defense, it's 4 points a game. They allowed 3 points against Denver, 10 against Tennessee, 3 against the Raiders, and 0 against the Giants. If our defense, come January and February, can do that, can hold a team to 3 points. If just say don't get the 1 seed, and then 10 points, and then 3 points, and then a shutout in the Super Bowl. Yeah, like Mike has said, if the other team can't score, they can't win. I believe our defense will be the best this season. It'll be better than San Fran's and Philly's. I don't think it's going to be as good as the 2000 Ravens. I don't think any defense ever will be. That unit was special. What got me in 2000 when we were playing them is, even though we were shut out 27-0, I remember in the second quarter, Emmitt Smith had to run up the middle for 15 yards, right? Almost broke it, but it was a nice run, 15 yards. I think that was like our longest play of the game. And Emmitt gets a 15-yard run, and the announcer says, "Whoa, Emmitt Smith up the middle, 15 yards. That is the second longest run that the Ravens have allowed all season." And when I heard John Madden say that, I was like, wow, that is the second longest run that Ravens defense has allowed all season, 15 yards. Damn. Now, I know he drafted Mozzie Smith to help stop that interior run, and him paired with Hankins, and OC, I think, will, because when we traded for Hankins last season, there was a big noticeable difference in the run stop of the middle, big time. And then when Hankins and LVE were injured for those 3 games, you saw the difference. And then when they came back, you saw the difference. So having Mozzie Smith in the mix, I think, is going to make a big difference. There's no way that we're going to, even though we have an extra game, that we're going to allow under 1,100 rushing yards. I mean, that just is insane. Every time I would play Madden in a franchise or franchise league, my goal was always to try to hold under 1,000 yards rushing on my defense. Because the Ravens did that, and I just that just blows my mind how a defense can allow less than 1,000 yards in a season rushing. But I like where Mike's head is right there. He kind of taking a little shot at Dak, not intentionally, but saying, hell, they held San Fran to 17 points, and San Fran had a potent offense going into that game. They were putting up around 38 points a game with Brock Purdy. And with all them weapons they had, with George Kittle, Debo, Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, our defense played shutdown. And the only reason why we allowed 17 points is because Dak threw a pick deep in our own territory, gave him a free field goal. So really our defense would have allowed 14 points if Dak doesn't do that. And if all Dak could muster was 12 points, Mike is looking at it like, if we get to when we get to the playoffs, if our offense or if Dak Prescott, shits the bed like that, then it's going to be up to us to shut down the other team's offense. So if we just put up 12 points, that'll be enough to win the game. Just like Baltimore beating the Raiders 16-3 at Oakland. 16 points was enough to win the game because all they allowed was 3. So I like Micah's mentality on that. He watched a lot of film on that 2000 Ravens defense, and a lot of similarities in between the two. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Rex Ryan was that defensive coordinator for that unit. So, great defensive coordinator, as you saw what he did with the Jets defense in 2009 and 2010. I think our team this season will be defensive-led, and I think our offense will be very dynamic. Our offense will be able to hurt you in more ways than one, especially if Prescott starts to use his legs 4 or 5 times a game. But with the way Cooks is looking, just a mini camp, that's exactly what we needed in our wide receiver core. And if we can get Devontae Turpin involved in that offense, even better. And we get this offensive line situation taken care of. Matt Willetsko steps up, a left guard steps up, or we just go sign a Dalton Reisner. Beautiful. Sign Elliott. We are good to go. I would like to go into training camp with 0 holes. But we will see. Guys, please subscribe, like, and share. That's pretty much all I had to hit on. I had 3 topics. In the minicamp, Cooks being a free agent at running back, and what Micah Parsons is aiming for this season as the leader of this defense. This defense is going to be something special. Like I said, it's going to be one of the best single-season defenses of all time. Kind of like the 2013 Legion of Boom, 2015 No-Fly Zone, kind of like that. 02 Bucks, 99 Bucks, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, they got damn close. Yeah, guys, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Every subscriber counts. Help me get to 1,000 by week 1 this season. I promise you this channel will morph into something damn special, and you'll be damn glad that you did subscribe. On the count of 3, if y'all are still watching, this works with Mike Fisher. On the count of 3, guys, before I let y'all go, hit that subscribe button on 1, 2, 3, boom. And that like button, guys, if y'all can do it, if y'all can muster the courage to hit that like button on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, boom, hit the like button, please. Keep God first and foremost. He comes before everything, even this. Seek Him and His righteousness, and everything else in your life will fall into place. I am a living testimony of that. We've been going through a valley this last year. We've been on mountaintops and in valley. I have seen God work in so many times. Just yesterday, and the day before, He came through. Perfect timing. He has never let me down. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Not trying to make this a religious program, but if you do not know Christ and you have a question or some questions about it, feel free to ask me. Because he saved my life and has made it rich and abundant. Y'all guys be safe. Enjoy this upcoming weekend. I mean, after, mini game's done, so players are going to go chill, do what they do. And then in July, training camp's going to start, baby. And I hope I can get to California this year. I have yet to see the Cowboys training camp in California. I used to go to Wichita Falls when I was little, but has not been to Oxnard yet. So please hit that subscribe button, like button, share this content, guys. As brothers and sisters of Cowboy Nation, we all bleed blue and silver. Collectively, I love each and every one of y'all, guys and gals. Please support me, guys. I can't do this without y'all. And I promise you, this show will get better and better and better. And when I hit 1,000 subscribers, this show will morph and grow exponentially. And I love Law Nation's show. He's the one who inspired me to do my own. it'll be as good as his, progressively. Especially when I get that call in line. And if I can get to 1,000 by week 1, then I'll have the call in line. So before and after every game, y'all can call in, tell me what y'all think about the game. We can disagree, agree to disagree. Y'all can vent or whatnot. But the call in line is fun. And my live shows will be live, if you know what I mean. That's it for this episode, guys. Y'all keep it cool, calm, just like my mom, with a couple Valiums inside the palm. Rest her soul. I'll catch y'all on the flip side, hopefully. This next video I have will be us making a big move, being that we got $24 million in cap space. Let's make one more big move, Jerry. You said you would sign a check that would be obscene and win one more Super Bowl. Prove it. $24 million in cap space. Let's go make something happen. Let's go get depth at the Wazoo. Let's go sign Dalton Risner at left guard. For defensive tackle, let's go sign the Kong Sue and Linville Joseph. I know Sue don't want to go through training camp. Don't make him. Just let him learn the playbook and whatnot. Let him and Joseph be great depth pieces in the interior of our line. Sign Dalton Risner. And then bring on Elliott. And then bring on Brandon Cook. Dalvin Cook also. Shoot. Swing for the fences. Why not? Tony Pollard, Deuce Vaughn, Zeke Elliott, Dalvin Cook. What better running back room could you ask for? So, we'll see what happens, guys. I'll catch you on the flip side. That's it for this episode. Charles and Charge is out.